Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Alright guys, well it is the, I guess the last day that I'm going to be working on this thing, hopefully. I got a little bit more done yesterday. Today is actually Wednesday. I came out here for just a little while on Tuesday. I didn't really get to spend a lot of time out here, and hopefully I'm going to be finishing up today. So I'll show you what all I finished up yesterday after we roll the intro. So roll the intro. Smash! Alright, so I filled it up with coolant, and I noticed it was leaking a little bit right here around that spring clamp that I had on here, so I took the spring clamp off and put an actual worm gear clamp on. So we're good to go there. Went ahead and put the power wire to the starter. I used the factory wire from the original car, or original engine, just a starter wire, and then I'm going to put a fuse link from here over to my charge wire from my alternator, and then that will be done up here. So we got power to the starter now, and we'll be having power to the alternator here in just a little bit. I got the alternator belt on, so with this is a I bought this belt at AutoZone, and unfortunately all they had was a 5-row. They didn't have the 6-row, but 5-row would be plenty for this setup. This actual belt number, hold on, I'll get it real quick. So this was the actual belt number that I used, the 630K5, or I'm sorry, 360K5, daggone. If you wanted the 6-row, you could get a 360K6, and that's of course on H series when just running an alternator with no AC. So factory, the belt runs AC compressor and the alternator, so we did away with the AC compressor, obviously. So I went ahead and also got my coolant lines on here, got the fuel line made. It runs through and under and over to here. So the fuel line's done. Get the booster hose on. So just checking off all the boxes from my list I had previously. Got the fan wired, so it's grounded over here, and then I run a wire, and it goes along, it goes into the cabin over here. So I guess here in a few, what I'm going to be doing is getting in here and squaring away all the wiring in here, and putting the shifter mechanism in, and then I got to run my wire back to my fuel pump. And I tried to just put power straight to the fuel pump last night or yesterday, and it wouldn't kick on. So I went ahead and pulled the pump out, and this is the pump that was in it, man. It's nasty. All right, so he's got to get a new fuel tank and a pump. I mean, you can see, like, even if I was able to put another pump in it, all this crap is going to be in that tank, and it's going to be stopping up lines and filters, and we don't want that. So I think he's going to just get another fuel tank and another fuel pump assembly. So I don't know if he's going to make his dyno appointment next Tuesday, but that's going to be for him to figure out, I guess. I mean, I'm doing all I can do to get it done. And let me tell you something, that fuel that's still in that tank, it stinks so bad. Holy moly, it's rough. I decided to see if I could drain anything out of the fuel tank. I pulled the plug and nothing's coming out. It appears that it's stopped up. So even the drain is stopped up. All this is water in the floor. It came a pretty good rain last night, and sometimes when it rains really hard, water comes in over here on my shop. So that's what's happened over here. So that's what this little bit of water is. So, man, that little drain plug stinks. I guess I'm gonna get a screwdriver and just stick in it and see if I can get anything to come out at all. Let's see. Look, even the drain was stopped up. Look how dirty that fuel is, man. That stuff is filthy. Golly, it's like Coca-Cola. Yeah, it's never a good sign when the dang fuel tank is so stopped up it won't even drain. Ugh. I'm probably gonna go ahead and spray these little J hooks so that whenever he does pull them off, at least they'll be lubricated a little bit. And maybe that penetrating oil that I put on there will help break them loose to where he can get them out of there successfully. That stuff's so nasty, it stinks so bad. Holy crap. Other than actually having a fuel supply, I should have everything else. I went a little bit ago to the parts store and picked up the vacuum caps for my vacuum hoses here. So once I get those on, get my little fuse piece in for the alternator wire, everything under the hood should be done. It's got all the fluids in it, so it's got engine oil, transmission fluid, coolant. So everything out here should be squared away, good to go. Like I said, the only thing left to do is just a couple vacuum caps, and I guess I'll knock that out real quick. This little pack of vacuum caps from AutoZone. It's 8 caps in here, the different sizes and stuff, so hopefully we'll have 2 in here that will work on this. Alright, so I got the vacuum cap stuck on here. Only one of them really fit without needing a zip tie to hold it on, so I got this one here with a zip tie on it. And this one right here wasn't really necessary to be put on. That's for the butterflies in the intake. But without having this hooked up, it's just going to be open all the time on the butterflies, so we're just going to leave it like that. And I just went ahead and put a zip tie on that too to hold it. And I went ahead and put one over the little breather for the evap stuff. That's not really necessary on an NA motor to have that capped off, but I went ahead and did that anyway. I got the little jumper here taped up with some good tape just to make it look a little better. I've got the fuse link in now for the alternator wire. I've got a battery just set up here just to test fit everything, make sure everything's good to go. The battery's actually not any good, but like I said, just using it for testing purposes at the moment. I think everything up under the hood is done at this point, with the exception of hooking up my power wire that goes to my fuse box. So I've got the fuse box just zip tied up here to this piece here, and I just run the switch panel. It's just sitting up here right now just to have it stationary at some point, you know. He's going to mount it wherever he wants it. But the wire fit there. I went ahead, it's got currently running a chipped P28 that's mapped for the F20B. It is going to go to S300, but I went ahead and mounted up the ECU over here on the side, kind of in the factory location, but not in the factory location because this bar for the roll cage down here interferes with where it would be factory mounted. So right now I've got to cut some of the floor out here to mount the shifter, because that little plate where it's the original shifter went is sticking up too high to mount that flush, and I think the hole needs to be just a touch bigger to fit all of the prelude shifter mechanism in where it can sit flush. And then I just stuck the cover back on over the fuel pump. It still stinks. And I set the seat where it goes. It's not mounted down or anything, but it's out of my way from over there where it was. So I've got to run a wire for the power for the fuel pump, so that whenever he does change the fuel pump and stuff, he can just plug it up and go. And I've also got to run a ground. So this already got the 2 wires subbed out, the power and the ground. So I just got to hook those up and it'll be done there. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand right now, and hopefully we can get it squared away to where he'll be able to pick it up. I think he said he's coming Saturday at this point, so when he's coming to pick it up. So hopefully we can get it to where I don't have to mess with this over the Christmas holiday, and it'll be ready for him to pick up on Saturday. Alright, so I cut this out a little bit, you can see, and gives it plenty of clearance for the shifter to sit down in here. There we go. So now all I gotta do is bolt it down and it'll be good to go there. Now if you had a if you got an EG and you're trying to do this, I think you can buy a adapter plate to actually adapt this shifter over to over to your trans tunnel, kind of like the K series shifter adapters. This is just a dirt track car, so it don't really matter. This is going to be more than sufficient here, so we'll just bolt it down. I got to see if I can find the other 2 bushings like this that went back here. They weren't in that Prelude. Maybe I got some back here in one of my parts bins. And your cables may be routed a little different than this. Like I said, that's where the heater core the outlets used to go through. You know, you may have to cut a hole down here in your floor and run them through that. This is the little boot from where it was run through the floor on the Prelude. And now I just got to get these little clips, get it bolted in here, and then the shifter assembly will be done. So after that, it's just this little bit of wiring, like I was talking about on the fuel pump. It's just a ground, well, a ground here. Dadgummit, the ground. So probably what I'm gonna do is just put a terminal on it and ground it to one of these bolts here. That'll be sufficient. And then, ow, shoot my head. The yellow with the green stripe is the fuel pump power, and I've got to tie it into one of these pigtails. I'll have to look and see which one it is, but it's getting close to being done on my part, so hopefully I can be done with my part of this transformation tonight. It's kind of tight fitting getting in this car, you know, in and out with this cage and no working doors. So sorry, I haven't really been recording a lot of action per se. I'm just filming after the fact, but it's what I've got to do is just hard moving the camera around in this car, getting in and out and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to get it done too, because like I said, I don't have a lot of time. So anyways, back to it. All right, so I went ahead and put in some rev nuts. I've got 4 of them in there, and now I can bolt in the shifter. And these are M8, which is like standard 12mm Honda bolt, like so. And so now I'm gonna get it bolted in. Alrighty, so there it is, all bolted in. Went ahead and got the clips put in here to hold the cables. You can see we got shifter action now, baby. Yes, sir. All right, it's a good deal there. And I guess now really all I gotta do is I gotta run the ground wire that goes to the distributor, or to the little distribution block, and then run the wire back to the fuel pump, and actually tie in this little single black wire that I've run from the fan. I just gotta tidy that up and tie it in to one of the pigtails there. And that should be all I have to do. Getting close, boys. Alright, so unfortunately I won't be able to start it due to the fuel pump issue and the fuel tank being filthy, so I can't just throw another fuel pump in there and go. But I can go ahead and put power to the car. I went ahead and got my wiring finished up in here. Well, I say finished. It's hooked up, but I still got to tie up these loose leads here. One's like what were they? The accessories and oh, the RPM signal. Like if you want to put a tack in here. So I'm just going to tie up those loose ends just so they're not just hanging around. But the rest of it is done over there, so all that's good to go. The battery is also, he didn't have a battery. This is just another battery I had here. I'm using, I keep it for a core battery, but I put it in here to mock everything up, make sure everything's good to go. So I've got another car over here with some jumper cables running over to it just to test all the wiring, make sure the wiring is squared away. So with our switch panel up here, these doors, man, they make all kinds of racket. So our switch panel up here, we can hit the, let me get up here where maybe you can see a little better. We can hit ignition. All right. Just don't have enough power to turn it over. But this would be the fuel pump, and the fan works. So about here, the fan is working. Heck yeah, that's a good sign there. turn the fan back off, and then I'll take a test light and just make sure that I'm getting power to here. So one side should be power and the other side should be ground, but yeah, he's gonna have to get a fuel pump put in here, but whenever he does, all you have to do is plug up this wiring right here and it'll be good to go. So let me test that real quick and see where we're at. Alright, so I have the fuel pump switch on, so let's make sure that we have power to it, and then we'll also check the ground source. My test light on the end here, that won't get into the plug, the little clip. So I just got a little piece of wire that I'm going to be stubbing in there and then hooking into my clip. That confirmed that we have power to the fuel pump, so whenever we get the new fuel pump, he'll be good to go. Alright, so I doubled up on the cables, and now when I push the engine start, she spins over, but like I said, we don't have any fuel, so it's not going to start. So that's unfortunate. Otherwise, we will be able to hear it run tonight. So anyways, I guess that's going to wrap up today's video, and I guess really wrap up this series. I may do one more video just reviewing all the parts that I installed on this, just to let you guys know what I think works good, you know, and all that stuff. So thanks for checking out this little mini series, and I look forward to Austin getting his fuel tank squared away on this thing and being able to tear it up on the dirt track. I think maybe one day I would like to build me a dirt track car, because I really do think that would be a load of fun. I've had several dirt track cars come to the shop now, and I tell you, it's you know, these things are pretty budget friendly, and they seem like they would be loads of fun. So maybe one day in the future, the old Honda Resource will have them a dirt track car. I don't know. I enjoy drag racing too, so you know, I sold the Green Dragon, but I don't think that I'm done with racing, period. So I'll definitely be back with something. I have several Cape motors here and stuff, so I'd like to get back to doing something. Also, I am going to be doing a B series GSR swap onto EG hatch. I have another EG hatch here. I'm going to be doing a GSR swap on that here, probably coming up next month. So I've got a bunch of parts that just came in for it, and hopefully we can get that squared away. I am looking for a couple parts for EG, so if you're local, I would like to find a aftermarket header, and also some coilovers or some aftermarket suspension. I don't really want to pay new prices. It's kind of a budget build, and so I'm looking for some used parts, good used parts at a good deal. So if you're local in Alabama and you'd like to help a brother out, let me know. I'd be glad to throw some money your way and get some parts for this other hatch. So once we finish up the 8th Gen SI raffle, giveaway, whatever, I may consider doing the GSR swapped hatch. But I've got to finish the 8th Gen SI raffle first. So, but if I do the GSR swapped hatch, it'll probably be like $50 a spot, 100 spots. I mean, give somebody a chance to win a GSR swapped hatch for 50 bucks. So anyways, I appreciate you checking out this little series. And maybe check out the rest of the videos and throw a comment, a like, and I appreciate all the subscribes. Y'all been killing it lately, man. I've been getting up in the subscribers, and again, like I mentioned, I think in the first video, once the channel gets to 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a gift card to Jason Waters Tuning for $250, $300, whatever I can afford at the time. Like I said then too, I don't make a lot of money doing this YouTube stuff, and I don't really want I can't afford to take money out of my my general budget, because my day-to-day job, it just pays the bills. That's it, you know. So doing this Honda repair stuff, that that's my little extra money, and also the YouTube gives me a little bit of extra money, but it's not a lot. So I'll basically be donating a month's worth of my YouTube income to someone, just for you know, you guys getting up the subs. So anyways, appreciate it. Be sure to check out the merch on thehondaresource.com. Also check out jasonwaterstuning.com. It's got a lot of good stuff on there. Hope to see you on another video. Peace.